everybody. This is Jeff Veale, the business guru, coming to you once again from downtown Manila. We're halfway through the day, thank goodness. We've got a wonderful guest on today, all the way from the other side of the world. Her name is Beth Thorson. And Beth's the CEO and founder of a company called Relentless Growth Collective, and a pretty interesting lady at that. So reach out, have a chat to her. She may be able to help you. She's been consulting with supply chain, the word again.
Adjacent.
She puts all these words that trip me up, guys. Supply adjacent and AI companies from seed round to maturity. Focus on ecosystem building, reducing leakage, increasing revenue through multiple sales channels. She's been doing this for a little time now, just 30 years. Imagine, guys, what knowledge you accumulate when you've done something for 30 years. Like I say, I've been doing my stuff for 50 years. And when you do something for 50 years, you get very, very good at it, right? Mm-hmm. So a brief description of your business helps founders and companies with GTM, strategy, automation, and executive coaching. Key achievements or projects, amongst many, took 2 internal organizations from 0 to 500 million. Hear that number, guys? 0 to 500 million. Personal motto or philosophy, be authentic. Show up as yourself. Surround yourself with people you are a fan of. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good people. We all need a cheer squad, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting fact about myself, I took up painting 3 months ago and I'm obsessed. Okay, I understand all that. It's my great pleasure to welcome to the stage today, Beth Thorson. How are you, Beth?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to be part of this, and it'll be so fun to go through this process with you.
It is. Tell us about your journey and what inspired you to pursue your career all those years ago. Where did it all begin?
Oh, wow. So where it all began is I was very excited to get out of high school. So I graduated early. And back in those days, in order to stay on your parents' insurance, you had to have a job. And my father was in logistics. And the only qualification to get these interim kind of vacation jobs was that you had to type a certain amount a minute on an old typewriter. I did not qualify, but they took me anyway, which was great. Yeah. So when we talk about starting from the ground up, I grew up in a very lower middle class family, I would say. And I worked from handing documents to truck drivers to sitting at an executive table with some of, the highest people who had come from Amazon to, one of the organizations I helped scale, which was Flexport. And so being on calls with people who was supposed to be the successor of Jeff Bezos, and just being a girl who worked her way up was really exciting. So along the journey, most of it was raising my hand as often as I could. Yeah, exactly. And being unafraid to stretch myself, and trying new things all the time too. And I just had a natural curiosity about what to do. So I spent about 10 years of my career in operations, which I think was the best thing for me as I moved into sales and revenue focused roles. And because what I could offer was practical and also resonated very well with the team and with the client. Found myself after an acquisition of an organization I was at 2 years in, incredibly bored. I mean, at this point, I could probably be retired, have a nice little stock options tucked away, and still be sitting at my desk typing the same email day in and day out. And I just, I told them, and it was a great departure, that it was just time for me to fly and spread my own wings, and joined another organization in the same industry, but with a much broader spectrum of technology and resources. And then ultimately found myself at Flexport in a leadership role. I joined as an SME, so I could really scope out the organization and then make an impact. And then spent some time in SaaS, which was great. And so, 30 years, most of that was spent at 3 companies, I would say, but I really wanted to dip my toes in the direct SaaS world. I had sold SaaS solutions before. I had implemented SaaS solutions before, but I hadn't run a sales organization and understood, really the mechanics of the quotas and the compensation structures and just really the way people buy. So I spent some time in a SaaS company. And then when that project was over, I really just decided to go into consulting full time. I found myself at an intersection, which I think a lot of people do at a certain point, and thought that there was three ways to go. The familiar route, right? Be adjacent to what I was doing or do something totally different. And so I dipped into something that was adjacent to what I was doing, but expanded my opportunity to continue to learn and then share those learnings as well.
Really cool. What's been the most challenging aspect of your work over the years, and how have you overcome that?
Yeah, that's really interesting. It's the challenge has been different depending on where I was at. And I think as I've been in this business for 30 years and the world has changed a lot in 30
Sure.
years too, and opportunities for women, particularly in the US, have started to open up more.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest challenge was really just finding advocates within organizations at certain points because they loved you, they wanted to work with you, but having someone to speak up for you and ensure that you were in the right role can sometimes be difficult. And that is because everyone's rightfully looking out for themselves too.
Yeah, sure.
But I have found myself often getting promoted into positions that other people had, but with less equity, a smaller title and a bigger job. And so some of those things have been very challenging. And that is one of the reasons that I went into consulting, because I also could bet on myself, right? I've ever since I've been a child, and I really shouldn't say this because it's but authority has not been a fun thing for me. I am neurodivergent in the way that I have ADHD. So going into consulting is amazing for me because I can do 20 different things at once, but not have to complete everything to its entirety because that's what their team does. And so those have been challenges and really on that even on the neurodivergent cycle, I think, being able to rein in some of my excitement and sometimes it comes across as rude if you're interrupting someone. But truthfully, it's just you're so excited about what they're doing. So the rest of it came pretty easy, to be honest, because I love to learn. I love to be fans of people. I love to recruit the underdog talent. Everything else came easy because I was willing to put the work in. And I think anyone, really with the ability can do it for themselves, like advocate for yourselves.
Yeah, turn up's half the battle. And the ultimate aim, guys, not the money. The ultimate aim is freedom.
Yes.
And Beth hasn't got a job. She's got a passion. And I'm the same. I got a passion.
I do.
And then when you've got a passion, you've made it. You've actually made it because you're not doing that soul sucking job anymore for money.
I know. That's exactly right. And you can control your life. I mean, it's that freedom. It's funny. Someone asked me for a word to describe what is most important to me in life, and I use that word. So you're either a mind reader or you've learned you've learned a lot about me in a very short amount of time.
I escaped the system. I left school at 14, and my mother told me, if you don't like it here, get out. I said, give me 15 minutes. So I left school and home at 14, and I had, kid you not, I had 200 jobs from 14 to 28. I had 200 jobs I hated, right? And then I decided I'm going to stop working for idiots. I'm going to work for a lunatic. So I started working for
I love that.
And I've had 5 multi-million-dollar businesses during my lifetime span. And I lost a whole lot. I lost 20 million when COVID came along. I lost everything because, just that's how it was. But nothing stopped me. I picked up my pen and now we're on the adventure all over again. And now it's not about the money, it's about the freedom. I travel every 2 months. I pick up my laptop, I go somewhere with a one-way ticket, not knowing, genuinely
I
not
love
knowing
that.
whether I'll stay 3 days or 2 months, you know.
I love that. Well, your story resonates with me a lot too, because, when I left an organization, COVID really accelerated what all of us were making because we were in
Sure.
logistics. And then, I thought, well, this is going to right size. I've been around this industry long enough to know it's going to right size.
Yeah.
And the organ, and same time, had built my dream house, had done all these things, and really after that I too started from ground zero. And
Yep.
I think there's actually it's you come to this strange place where you're very calm and excited about that, because that means that there's endless opportunities out there that
Absolutely.
you're in control of.
Yeah.
Right. And you do follow your passion, and people are attracted to passion. And now, I always say I only work with leaders that, are curious, capable, and, will really follow through on what they've said they're going to do. And so it's really fun to get to choose who you want to work with, and watch yourself grow as a person and as a professional. And one thing I've learned is, there's something really special about living smaller so that you can live bigger, just like you just described, right? I mean, when you go from being incredibly, lucky and privileged to a certain extent because you've worked that hard all those years, and then it goes
Sure.
in a different direction. When you evaluate what's important in life, you start to look at, I want to do quality work. I want to work with people that I'm so interested and I can learn from and that I can bring something to. And I want to enjoy my life, right? And it seems that that's what you're doing. So kudos to you.
I tell people, make memories, not money.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. I love that. That's beautiful.
I can't take it off you. Tell me, in your opinion, what are the key qualities or skills that have contributed to your amazing success?
I mean, grit is number one,
Yeah.
really grit. Strangely enough, having ADHD has been a help to me in a lot of ways, because
You
I
got the
can't
lot.
control my impulses.
You've got the lot, my friend. You're bipolar, ADHD,
Oh yeah, I've got
the
it
whole
all.
lot.
Just throw it in. No, I don't,
Like
really
me.
do not have all that, but I think it's a strength because it makes me a very big
Absolutely.
thinker, and it makes me unafraid to say anything to anyone. So, while other people were kind of in the corner and we had these
Sure.
huge executives, I was like, I got an idea, And so I
I was the
think that,
same. I'm the same.
yeah, exactly. Right. And so being kind of, I call it the land of the misfit toys, being one of those people that they either loved you, they hated you, or they had no idea what to do with you, but you'd
Right?
still kept showing up.
Yeah.
And so I do think it was grit. I think it was being very strategic
Yeah.
versus being very transactional. And
Yeah.
I also think it was spotting the right talent. There have been times when I have taken, an SDR, which is a very kind of starter role for sales, brought him up to the highest level of our sales organization and skipping all those other levels. And he was our number one seller within 14 months. And so when you spot talent, you grab it. There was someone else who came in too, and he was an SMB sales manager, and I interviewed him, and his interview was fine. His pitch was, good. But when he got up to whiteboard solutions, I thought, yeah, this guy needs to work upstream. And he really understands the concept of being strategic. And he ended up being the number one seller the year before of the other person too. So I think that's been a lot. I think that's really leaned into my success. And I mentioned this earlier, just be a fan of where you work and the people that you surround yourself with. Because then you don't feel competitive with them. Those complementary skills are so great.
You also mentioned, you mentioned be yourself, be authentic, be yourself.
Yeah,
There's only one of you. Be yourself.
exactly.
Nobody else.
Exactly.
Tell
Yeah,
me.
and you can sleep better at night that way, right?
Absolutely. Well, I don't sleep well because I'm always worried about my clients. I go to bed thinking, how can I
I
help?
know.
How can I
I'm a
help this
night
person?
owl.
Yeah.
At about 4 a.m., I'm in the zone. So,
Yeah, I have to be because I'm dealing with America and I'm doing bloody webinars at
right.
4 a.m., 5 a.m.,
Yeah,
etc.
yeah, yeah.
And people say, "Why? I wouldn't do that." And I go, "No, you
Why not? It's fun.
say you won't make it because you won't do what it takes." Simple as
Exactly.
that.
I had clients that, were European I still do European in the morning and then Australian at night.
Yeah,
And you got to figure it out. That's
yeah,
hard work is part of it.
absolutely. It's all part of the fun. You have a nap during the day, whatever. Tell me, how do you stay motivated and continue to innovate in your field like you've been doing? What's the secret?
Yeah, that's interesting because one thing about consulting is it can be a lonely world, right? Because
Yeah,
now we're not, even every company you go into, you're on the fringe. You're
yeah,
not at the
sure.
sales conference. You're not at you're not always you're just not in the group
Yeah, that's
completely.
right. Yeah,
And that's fair, right? Because you're not a full-time employee.
yeah,
You could be gone a month from there. But I have decided that the best way for me to stay very motivated is to create my own community.
yeah.
And so I've worked with a lot of other consultants that I respect and that are very different than me. They may be more operations oriented or, may sit in a CFO position. And I've created these really interesting partnerships. And some other things that keep me motivated are things that I don't get paid for sometimes too, where if I
Sure.
find a great product and I'm using it, to be able to pass that on to someone else or even to
Absolutely.
my clients,
Yeah,
that's really fun. And
yeah.
so, just like-minded people and then opposite-minded people too get me pumped up.
Share the love, right? Share the love.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't hurt. A smile costs you nothing, by the way. You know that. Tell us a recent project or achievement you're particularly proud of out of your many.
Yeah, I think I'm really proud of how quickly I was able to ramp up my consulting business. It's
Absolutely.
7 months old. Yeah. And I had never done anything like that before, but was able to, really create a network that supported me through it, helped accelerate it. I got very clear on my vision, which was important. And so, truly the project that I'm really proud of is the Relentless Growth Collective
Yeah.
because,
It should be.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
That's
very proud of it. I'm very
oh,
proud
yeah.
of the progress we've made.
Yeah, that's it. Tell me, you meet a 20-year-old, she's your daughter or she's your niece or someone you know. And she's 20 years old, she's just left university or school and says, "Oh, I'm not sure what I should do with myself." What would you tell her?
I'd say go into sales. I'd say go into
Yeah,
sales because
yeah,
there's not enough of us. Go look at any website for a major corporation, and there are typically two corporate positions that are high, and it's HR and then it's the legal team. Go
not bad.
change that.
Yeah,
Because women are strategic. We're bosses. We need to get in front of those people. And I'll tell you, nobody can balance time like women. And so I would tell my daughter, I would tell my niece, I would tell your daughter,
yeah,
go get in sales, go use your voice, show up as you are, and
yeah.
go crush it. And don't let anyone make you small.
No, I like that. I got to tell you a Chet Holmes story. Chet was an awesome guy. He was a sales leader. He's dead now. He wrote quite a few books. And Chet, in his books, he said he advertised for a sales manager. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and about 10 people rang up, and it went like this. Good morning. And he said, "Chet Holmes, I'm Mr. Holmes. I'm applying for your sales job." Okay, tell me a bit about yourself. And the person would talk, and Chet would say to them, "I'm not hearing sales." And then the people at the other end would say, "It's funny." People at the other end would say, "Oh, sorry, Mr. Holmes, you would know. I'm sorry I wasted your time today." Anyway, then he got you, and you gave your spiel, and he said, "I'm not hearing sales," and then you said to him, "What? Are you fucking deaf?" he said,
I love that.
he said, "Come on in," and you got the job.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
Well, that's what I mean. Don't let somebody else intimidate you. Do
yeah,
exactly that. I think that's right. I think that's right. I think it's okay too to push back on people when they're not correct. You don't help people if you just keep telling them how wonderful they are all the
yeah.
time.
It's a pretty cool story, isn't it?
That's an amazing story. It's so funny. I love those kind of stories.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. And you're one of the few people out of 300, you're one of the few people that mention sales. And you're so right. Everything starts with selling. From the moment you come out of your mother's womb and you're crying for that milk, everything starts with sales, guys. It starts and ends with sales. So get into sales, become good at sales. I'll tell you something, guys. You can even be a bad salesman. All you got to do is go out and see people and turn up. That's half the battle. Most people don't turn up. So if you
Exactly.
if you turn up, I don't care how bad you are. If you turn up, you will be successful, right?
Exactly. I mean, be consistent. If you keep showing up, someone will eventually say, enough, I'll give you something.
Right. And it's like, until they buy or they die is my motto.
Exactly. Sometimes they die. I did try to get someone to buy and then he died. So
There you go. Tell me, looking ahead, you're at base camp, still climbing that mountain. What are your goals and aspirations for the future?
yeah, I mean, I love the word that we've talked about quite a bit, which is freedom. And I think that's not just freedom for me. I think that's freedom for a lot of the founders that I work with too.
Good.
And, what I mean by that is they're so invested in their businesses that they can't remove themselves from pieces that they should, right? So helping people identify what their role should be in their organization as they grow and gaining that trust. I'd love to continue to build my consulting business. I love the mentorship piece, and I really enjoy the public speaking and panel type of work. I too am going to be launching a podcast over the next few months called Talks Too Much in Class.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know that's a shocking title, but it's really essentially about what was some of the early feedback you got? How did it influence your career? And then how would you rephrase that today? So, my rephrase would be, well, has big ideas and is not afraid to share them. Don't put me in the corner. Yeah. And so
why?
Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah.
They hated me. Why?
Did they?
Something. Let's say why. Let's say.
Well, you were intellectually curious. There's your.
Well, yeah, emotionally intelligent. And and they'd say to me, dig a hole. And before I pick the shovel up, I'd say, okay, how deep? And the boss would say, I just keep digging. I go, no, I don't want to dig any more than what you want. Tell me how deep you want it, and I'll dig it exactly how you want it, boss.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I don't want to do extra.
But I do think it's giving, my clients some freedom to grow their businesses. And then also for myself too, just the freedom to continue to pick the projects that I want to work on and move up market as quickly as I can too, so that there's, you don't have to have quite as many people, so that you can keep to make sure that you're delivering your best work with every customer. And so that's something that's really important to me as well.
Yeah. Tell me, you've been an awesome guest. How can our listeners and people watching this wonderful podcast, what's the best way to reach out and find out more about how you can help their company grow? What's the best way to contact you?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for the compliment. You've been an amazing host. The best way to contact me is either at my email address, which is beth@𝐷-collective.com, or hit my website up, which is the relentlessgrowthcollective.com as well. There's another option where you can reach me there, or find me on LinkedIn. I'm constantly on LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. I get to see who you are a little bit before we talk as well. And, come book a consultation and just get to know each other. I'm sure there's some way that, either I know someone that can help you, or hopefully I can help you as well.
It's all about connections. And guys, don't forget, with 15 minutes of fame, we're going to put Beth here across all the social media channels. That's LinkedIn, Quora, Reddit, Facebook, our Facebook group with 6,500 members, and YouTube with all the social media links underneath. So
thank you so much.
It's going to be made into an evergreen movie that we'll promote and Beth will promote, and you'll be seeing more of it all across the internet. Now, before we wrap it up, Beth, tell us a fun fact about yourself that most people do not know.
Okay, so I like having new interests a lot. as I think I mentioned, and why it put me in the career I'm at. And one day I decided I was going to start painting. I watched one video, and now I am just painting like crazy, and found that I had this hidden talent, and then looked at those old report cards again, and it said is really good at art, and I forgot. And so I've just been loving it. It's been a really nice creative outlet that balances the business side of me too.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Beth, thanks for being on the show today. Any last words for our audience?
Really just I'm so excited to meet people and network and hear about your greatness and your superpowers. I'd love to meet you, even if there wasn't a business opportunity. There's always an opportunity to make connections. And also, Jeff, I'd just like to thank you for being such a fun and gracious and patient host. And I've just had a wonderful time on the podcast, and hopefully reaching out to your audience as well.
Thanks very much.